Joe Mackenzie here, your watercolor coach. I'm going to try to make a concept that is abstract concrete. And to do that, I'm going to be using some Hershey's chocolate syrup. Now that's going to be the same as paint. Here it is. You put it out on your palette. It's nice and thick and tasty. Now typically what happens with watercolor painters is they have their water and they have their paint, and they go ahead and they put their brush in the water, and then they go and they paint something on a piece of paper. That's what I'm doing here, pretending to anyway. The next thing they do is they wash the brush off and they put it in their pile of paint, which I'm going to do, and you mix it around. Okay, then they go and they paint some more. Not a problem yet. But over time, what happens is each time I go over to the paper, I then wipe my brush and I put water in the brush. And see how big my pile is getting? Remember that Hershey syrup, which was just a little dot? It's gotten a lot bigger. So I think to myself, oh, I have a lot of syrup. That's terrific. All right, paint some more. And each time I go from a different color, I'm washing my brush and I'm carrying water into my paint. So let's take a look at our Hershey syrup now. It's starting to look not very delicious. I'll hold it up. Is that something you want to put on ice cream? No, because it's gotten diluted because of the water. You didn't actually add water to it. You never picked up the water and added it to the syrup. But what you did over time was every single time you washed your brush, you were carrying water into this pile of syrup. And that's what's happening to you with your paint as well. The deceptive thing is the pile gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Remember, we started with Hershey syrup, which is only about the size of a dime on the plate. Now it's almost the size of a dollar bill. But look at it. It's not yummy anymore. It's not going to taste good anymore. It's lost its strength, and it's lost its flavor and its sweetness because water has diluted it down. It's a real optical illusion. So the better way to paint is to put your syrup or your color on your palette. First of all, put a lot on because, always mix more paint than you think you need. The paper is really a sponge. Then what you do is you have your brush and you put it in the paint and go ahead and put it on the paper. Clean your brush, and instead of carrying water into the paint, wipe your brush. It's going to do two things. It's going to take moisture off the brush, and it's also going to clean it so that you aren't taking a little bit of color that's left on one pile of paint to another pile of paint, and therefore tipping colors. So things not only get watery and distasteful, but they also get dulled down and gray over time. So if you want to think about paint as Hershey syrup or what you want to eat, think about not adding extra water to it because it's going to become unpalatable over time. This is an illusion. You do not have more syrup. What you have is more dreck. So I hope that's helpful. Remember to keep the whites of your paper white, your paints wet, mass for value, mixed for color, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.